Chosen one, stop scrolling immediately. Go to your room and close the door. Silence the noise of the world for the next few minutes. If you are around people right now, you need to walk away and find a quiet place. I am not asking you to listen. I am warning you, do not dare scroll past this message, because what I am about to expose was sealed in the courts of heaven until this exact second. You are currently standing at a very dangerous intersection of your life. The enemy has set a highly coordinated trap for you in the next 24 hours. It will not look like an attack. It will be disguised as an opportunity or a chance encounter with someone who seems perfectly aligned with your current path. I am going to reveal exactly what that trap is and why your total isolation today is the only thing that will activate a massive upgrade in your mind that hell is terrified of. Before I reveal the snare waiting outside your door, you need to understand what has been happening inside your body. Notice that heavy pressure in your chest that you have been carrying all week. Think about the quiet exhaustion sitting deep in your bones. It is the kind of tired that sleep cannot fix. You have been waking up automatically between 3 and 4 in the morning, feeling a strange alertness. You have spent the last few days wanting to retreat from everyone and everything. The thought of being in crowded rooms or engaging in meaningless conversations makes you feel physically drained. You have been sitting in silence wondering if something is wrong with you. The world wants you to believe you are losing your drive. They want you to label this heaviness with clinical words to make you feel broken or defective. People around you might even be whispering that you have become too sensitive or too distant. But I am here to reframe your reality right now. That is not a medical condition. That is intense spiritual discernment. Your spirit has been working overtime in the unseen realm, fighting battles you cannot even perceive, and shielding people who do not even know they are under attack. You are a demonstrated warrior of light and a generational cycle breaker. Because you carry this massive anointing, your physical body is recalibrating to handle a completely new frequency. The exhaustion you feel is the heavy weight of glory settling upon your shoulders. God isolated you this week and made you crave the quiet because He is shielding you from low-frequency connections that are designed to drain your remaining power. He knows you are an emotional sponge. He knows you have spent your entire life fixing problems for people who never say thank you. Heaven is putting an end to that cycle today. What feels like a strange urge to hide is actually divine insulation. God is intentionally clearing your room so you can hear His instructions without the interference of counterfeit voices. The enemy sees this insulation happening and he is completely panicking. He knows that if you stay inside and complete this recalibration process, you will step into a level of authority that he cannot manipulate. He knows your presence alone is about to shift atmospheres. That is exactly why he arranged the counterfeit opportunity waiting for you outside. This brings us to a profound truth most people miss entirely. The trap is not designed to destroy you directly. The darkness knows it cannot touch your soul. Instead, the trap is designed to pull you out of the incubation room before a very specific neurological shift is complete. There is something happening in your mind right now during this season of isolation that the enemy desperately wants to interrupt. Let me reframe your reality right now because you have been reading the signs backwards. You thought your isolation was a form of rejection. You looked around at your empty room and believed you were being punished for being too different. But this is not punishment. This is protection. What felt like isolation was actually incubation. What felt like delay was actually development. What felt like silence was actually a highly advanced spiritual strategy. God is separating you from the noise because the frequency you are about to step into cannot be shared with people who are committed to misunderstanding you. This season of being completely alone is your divine insulation. Think about a cocoon in the wilderness. To the outside world, a cocoon looks like a tomb. It looks like nothing is happening and the creature inside has simply given up. But inside that dark and quiet space, a complete and miraculous transformation is occurring. Your current loneliness is exactly like that. You are breaking generational curses for your family, and that requires a massive amount of internal architecture to be rebuilt. God never builds quickly when He is building deeply. The enemy wants you to panic in the quiet and run back to toxic relationships just to feel seen. But heaven is telling you to stay perfectly still. While you sit in this divine incubation, there is a physical reality that heaven wants you to understand. You have noticed that your mind feels incredibly foggy lately. You sit down to pray or think about your future, and it feels like you are trying to see through a thick cloud. Words disappear from the middle of your sentences. Your memory feels fragmented and heavy. You used to be so sharp and so full of creative energy when you were younger. You remember a time when your intuition was lightning fast and your mind could process complex situations effortlessly. Now you feel like you are operating at a tiny fraction of your true capacity. The world will tell you this fog is just a natural part of getting older. They will tell you it is stress or a lack of discipline. The enemy will whisper that you have simply lost your edge and that your best days of spiritual clarity are permanently behind you. When you agreed with the lie that your mind was just failing, you also stopped risking. That lie became a comfortable shelter. But I need you to hear what the Spirit actually says about this moment. You are not lazy and you are not broken. The darkness fears what you carry, so it attacks your clarity. It wants you to stay confused, because a confused warrior will never pick up their sword. The reason your mind feels this heavy is because something was literally taken from you. Your power and your destiny have been targeted at the neural level. The modern way of life was systematically designed to suppress the incredible cognitive power you were born with. The enemy uses this modern suppression to keep chosen ones operating on a half-active mind. He knows that if your mind is foggy, you cannot fully receive the divine instructions heaven is broadcasting. The frequency of the blessing is right, but your receiver has been compromised. You are a chosen vessel, and vessels are designed to be completely clear. Now, I want to pause and hold something in front of you before we continue. Over the past few years, something has been discovered in research laboratories that most people who care about the things we have been discussing have never been told about. Not because it contradicts what is sacred, because it came from a direction most of us are not watching. A small group of neuroscientists, led by a doctor in New York, who has spent 20 years studying this, found something profound about the way the human brain is designed. It explains something most spiritually sensitive people have felt but have never been able to name. What this team discovered is so fundamental, it traces back to a Nobel Prize, yet so simple in its application that it sounds almost suspicious at first. They found the exact mechanism that causes the fog, and they found the specific way to restore the mind back to its original designed capacity. I am going to tell you exactly what they found later in this message and how it directly connects to the trap waiting for you outside your door. We will return to this solution when the time is right, but right now I need you to anchor your spirit to this one question. Do not let your mind wander away from it. What if the reason your mind feels foggy is not age and not a lack of discipline? What if something was stolen from you at the neurological level and heaven has arranged this exact moment for you to take it back? I need you to hear what Scripture actually says about this moment. Look at the life of David. He was anointed to be king long before he ever sat on a throne. But immediately after his anointing, he was not sent to a palace. He was sent back to the sheep pastures and eventually forced to hide in dark caves. The world looked at him and saw a fugitive. They saw someone whose life was falling apart and who had lost the favor of God. But heaven saw a king undergoing the necessary pressure to hold the immense weight of glory. Your current isolation is exactly like David in the cave. You have been anointed for a massive kingdom assignment, but you are currently in the wilderness of preparation. This is sacred ground. Consider Elijah after his greatest victory on the mountain. He did not stay to celebrate. He ran deep into the wilderness and collapsed under a tree, asking for it all to end. He was completely exhausted. His spirit had expended so much energy shifting the atmosphere of an entire nation that his physical body could no longer keep up. Heaven did not rebuke him for being tired. God did not tell him to try harder or push through the pain. God sent an angel to feed him and let him rest. The fatigue you feel right now is not a sign of weakness. It is the physical aftermath of carrying a spiritual mantle that most people would be completely crushed under. This is where we must merge ancient truth with the physics of the unseen realm. Everything in the universe operates on frequency and vibration. The reason your current season feels so incredibly heavy is because your spiritual DNA is vibrating at a rate that your old environment can no longer sustain. You are a celestial being operating in enemy territory. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere has to decide whether to submit to your light or fight it. That is why people who seem perfectly normal suddenly turn hostile toward you for no logical reason. Their energy does not match your rising frequency, and the darkness inside them is absolutely terrified of the light inside you. Now here is where it goes deeper, and this is the part no one wants to say out loud. You have been apologizing for your immense power. You have been shrinking yourself to fit into rooms that were never designed to hold your magnitude. You thought being a peacemaker meant you had to absorb the toxic energy of everyone around you. You became an emotional sponge for people who absolutely refused to do their own healing. The enemy convinced you that your intense light was a burden and that your boundaries were selfish. But your gentleness was never meant to be a welcome mat for manipulators. Your gentleness was meant to be a lethal spiritual weapon. The intensity, of the spiritual warfare you have endured is the absolute proof of your value to heaven. Thieves do not break into empty houses. The enemy does not waste this level of coordination on someone who is ordinary. You have been targeted precisely because of what you carry inside your spirit. You are the cycle breaker heaven has been waiting for. The generational curses of poverty and lack in your bloodline are supposed to end with you. Hell knows that if you wake up to your true identity, you will not just change your own life. You will liberate your entire family and permanently shift the destiny of everyone connected to you. This brings us to a profound truth about the counterfeit connections the enemy sends your way. Because you desire authentic connections, the darkness will send you people who look exactly like answered prayers. They mirror your empathy. They speak your spiritual language. But their ultimate assignment is to drain your vital energy and keep you distracted from your true calling. Every time you lower your boundaries to accommodate a counterfeit connection, you give the enemy access to your inner architecture. God isolated you this week because you were about to give clearance to someone who was sent to completely derail your next level of elevation. Heaven sees what happens behind closed doors, and heaven documented every single time you extended grace when they deserved anger. Your silent obedience has been recorded in the courts of heaven. But to step into the massive door that is opening next, you cannot bring your current level of mental exhaustion with you. A king cannot rule effectively if his mind is constantly clouded by the whispers of the enemy. A watchman cannot guard the sacred gates if their receiver is blocked by the heavy static of modern life. The spiritual preparation in the wilderness is complete, but the physical vessel must now be fully aligned. Stay with me, because the next layer is where many powerful people lose themselves. You have spent years operating under a hidden agreement that you were somehow responsible for the healing of everyone around you. Because you can feel the pain of others so deeply, you assumed heaven assigned you to fix them. But the enemy weaponized your empathy. He convinced you that if you just loved them harder or absorbed more of their toxic energy, they would eventually change. You poured your purest light into vessels that were completely committed to staying in the dark. That constant pouring is exactly what led to your current state of profound exhaustion. You tried to seamlessly blend into rooms that were built on low-frequency foundations. You dimmed your own light so you would not intimidate the people who were comfortable in their shadows. But a golden cage is still a cage, even when its bars are polished. Every time you compromised your boundaries to keep the peace, you signed a subtle contract of limitation. You gave the enemy legal right to drain your spiritual reserves and keep your mind trapped in a heavy fog. The world taught you that being a peacemaker meant you had to tolerate constant disrespect. They told you that walking away from toxic family members or counterfeit friendships was a lack of grace. I am here to completely shatter that lie right now. You are a celestial warrior, and warriors do not negotiate with darkness. Your silence when you walk away is warfare. You are allowed to forgive people and still move forward without ever reopening the doors they used to break you. The people-pleasing burnout you are experiencing is not just an emotional issue. It is a highly strategic spiritual attack designed to keep you so distracted by the drama of others that you completely miss your own kingdom assignment. The enemy knows that a chosen one who is constantly trying to heal unrepentant people will never have the energy to step into their true authority. Your spirit is completely exhausted from filtering out the negative frequencies of the people you tried to save. You are carrying spiritual burdens you were never meant to carry, and it is actively short-circuiting your neurological capacity. God isolated you this week to forcefully break those soul ties and stop the energy leakage. He shut the door to the outside world because the trap waiting for you tomorrow is another counterfeit connection designed to drain your remaining power. The isolation is the first step of your recovery. But isolation alone cannot repair the damage done to your inner architecture. Heaven is actively preparing to restore the physical vessel that has been compromised by years of spiritual warfare. The fog in your mind must be fully cleared before the next door opens. There is something I said near the beginning of this message that I want to return to now. I asked you to hold a question about what happens when the brain operates the way it was designed to operate. About what was taken from you at the neurological level and how specifically it can be returned. The answer to that question is exactly where this part of the message is going. And everything that has come before this moment was the context that makes the answer land the way it needs to land. What I am about to show you is going to connect something you have felt in your own experience with something discovered in a research laboratory. And that connection is going to explain something about your life that nothing else has quite explained before. The receiving condition I have been describing is completely restorable. Not through more preparation and not through a different kind of faith practice. What you are about to hear will permanently change how you view your own mind. Remember the warning I gave you at the very beginning of this message. I told you there was a highly coordinated trap waiting for you outside your door. Here is the revelation heaven wants you to understand. The enemy does not tempt chosen ones with obvious evil because he knows you would easily reject it. He tempts chosen ones with things that look like answered prayers. The trap waiting for you tomorrow is a counterfeit opportunity designed to keep your mind busy, stressed, and entirely fragmented. The darkness knows it cannot destroy your spirit, so it settles for distracting your mind. This is where it gets confrontational, and you need to lock your attention here. You have spent years blaming yourself for the heavy fog in your mind. You told yourself you were not praying hard enough, or that you lacked the discipline to reach your highest potential. You actually believed the lie that your inability to focus was a permanent character flaw. I need to completely shatter that hidden agreement of limitation right now. You are not failing, and you are not fundamentally broken. The enemy has been gaslighting you into believing your mind is weak, so you will never attempt to use your true power. Here is the absolute truth that hell is terrified you will finally discover. Your spiritual power was not lost. It was stolen from you at the neural level. When you were a child, you operated with a mind that was entirely synchronized and brilliantly sharp. Your intuition was flawless, and your connection to the unseen realm was instant. But the modern way of life was strategically engineered to systematically suppress that exact cognitive state. The enemy used the trauma, the endless stress, and the constant noise of the world to physically disconnect the two hemispheres of your brain. You are currently trying to receive massive divine frequencies on a physical receiver that has been intentionally compromised. It is exactly like trying to listen to a pristine heavenly broadcast on a radio filled with heavy static. God is speaking, and the universe is pouring out profound synchronicities, but your physical vessel is too exhausted to translate them properly. The delay you have experienced in your breakthrough is not because heaven is withholding the blessing from you. The delay exists because your receiver is operating far below its original designed capacity. The profound isolation you are in today is God forcefully stopping the noise, so this neurological shift can finally complete. Heaven is stepping in right now to repair the broken receiver. The enemy is in an absolute panic because he knows exactly what happens when a chosen one operates with a fully activated mind. A chosen one with a synchronized brain does not just survive the wilderness season. They completely dominate the unseen realm. They walk into rooms and shift the atmosphere without saying a single word because their frequency is absolute. You are not a regular human living a difficult and tiring life. You are a celestial warrior who has been operating in enemy territory with one hand tied behind your back. The mental fog you feel is simply the friction of a massive spiritual engine trying to run on the wrong fuel. But the great swindle of our lifetime is officially coming to an end. The capacity to hold the immense weight of glory is about to be fully restored to you. Your season of walking through the world in a state of constant mental exhaustion is over. This is exactly why the discovery from those research laboratories I mentioned earlier is so critical for this exact moment. Heaven is not just offering you a comforting spiritual metaphor today. Heaven is providing a tangible and physical mechanism to completely undo the neural theft. The restoration of your mind is the specific key that unlocks every single door that has been stubbornly shut in your face. What I am about to show you is the exact blueprint to take your power back. In 1981, something was proven in a laboratory that most people sitting in spiritual communities have never been told about. Dr. Roger Sperry received the Nobel Prize for his profound research on the split brain and hemisphere synchronization. He discovered that the two hemispheres of the human brain are fundamentally designed to operate in perfect synchronization. When whole brain activation occurs, it produces a state of clarity and connection that feels entirely miraculous. Studies show that 98% of children operate at this level of creative genius. But less than 1 in 1,000 adults maintain it. Modern life and continuous stress gradually erode this connection until it is completely deactivated. This loss of mental sharpness is not a spiritual failure or a lack of discipline. It is a highly specific physiological reality. A woman from California described what it felt like before she found the answer to this exact problem. She had tried everything, including prayer and deep meditation, but she kept arriving at the same frustrating experience. She believed the divine words, but she could not feel the reality behind them in her physical body. After 10 days of using what I am about to show you, she said, a channel that had been blocked was suddenly wide open. It was not because she tried harder. It was because the receiver had been completely repaired. A man from Texas described something incredibly similar regarding his own mental heavy lifting. He had spent years holding things together for everyone around him, while his own interior life became painfully distant and thin. He said his daily prayers had started to feel like talking into a brick wall because the frequency was right, but the physical receiver was turned off. 2 weeks later, he woke up and described his mind as running on all of what it was originally supposed to run on. The fog that had been so consistent, he stopped registering it as fog, was completely gone. That is exactly because of what the team I am about to describe spent years building. A team of neuroscientists led by Dr. Daniel Barone in New York spent years doing something unprecedented. They took over an hour of clinical neural sync technology, which is the exact kind of whole brain activation protocol used in specialized medical settings. Through an intensive compression and refinement process, they turned it into an 8-minute targeted auditory sequence. 8 minutes a day, wearing headphones with your eyes closed, is the entirety of the physical requirement. They call it the Genius Switch. The Genius Switch is not a meditation app or a sound frequency designed to put you in a particular mood. If you have used binaural beats before and found them underwhelming, Dr. Barone addresses this directly. Sound waves alone only target a fraction of the picture and are fundamentally incomplete. The Genius Switch is specifically engineered based on the Nobel Prize research to reconnect the two hemispheres and restore the whole brain activation that was your default state in childhood. It is a completely different mechanism that produces a totally different category of result. The Genius Switch is not for everyone. It is exclusively for the chosen one who understands that God prepared not only the promise but the mind that must walk into it. It is for the person who has been absolutely sincere for years and who has felt the divine call clearly, even when the physical evidence was not cooperating. It is for the warrior who is willing to stop treating their mental fog as a character flaw and start treating it as something that has a highly specific neurological address. Most people will scroll past and accept their reduced mind as permanent, but you are still here because this tool was built specifically for you. Colleagues in the medical field suggested this would be an incredible value, even at $500. An in-home neurofeedback machine costs $7,000, and in-person clinical sessions run $300 an hour. Dr. Barone bypassed the entire medical establishment to release this directly to the public for $49. But today, on his official page, there is an additional $10 reduction, making it exactly $39 to access the complete neural sync protocol. Along with the core sequence, you also receive 4 specific bonuses completely free of charge. You receive a guided visualization protocol from a top-rated creator to help unfold your ideal future in love and finances. You get a smart grocery guide that eliminates the hidden foods causing your brain fog while saving you over $100 a month. You also receive a classic 100-year-old manifestation text and a printable infographic detailing the 5 essential habits required to maintain your synchronized state. This entire package is backed by an unconditional 100% money-back guarantee. Listen to it once or listen to it 80 times. If it does not completely clear your fog, every single dollar is returned to you without any questions asked. I need to be completely clear about something regarding this specific opportunity. Pages like the one hosting this sequence have a strange way of disappearing without any warning. Information that touches what certain modern institutions would rather keep heavily suppressed does not always stay publicly available. The enemy would like nothing more than for you to postpone taking your power back until the door is permanently gone. You must also know that if you search for the Genius Switch on popular streaming platforms, you will find completely fake tracks carrying the exact same name. Dr. Barone studied them and found they contain absolutely no neural sync technology embedded within them whatsoever. The mechanism is what makes the actual difference, and that mechanism only exists in what his clinical team built. The direct official page is the only verified source to receive the genuine sequence. If your spirit resonates with what has been described today, the path to access it is located in the description below and in the pinned comment. Both of those locations point directly to where Dr. Barone made it available to the remnant. You can read every single detail clearly on his page before making your decision. The tool does not replace God. The tool does not replace your own spiritual obedience. It does not surrender your burdens for you, and it does not close the wrong doors for you. What God is actively doing inside your spirit is not conditional on any earthly tool, but a tool that forcefully restores your physical receiver, gives what heaven is broadcasting more of what it was originally designed to land in. A tool can profoundly support your clarity, but true obedience still belongs entirely to the heart that God is forming in the wilderness. We are now returning to the deeper current of this divine message. And for the chosen one who felt something stir deep inside when the restoration of the mind was mentioned earlier, that specific door is still open in the description. It is a very small step to take, but small steps taken from a clear and synchronized mind have the power to change entire generations. That is the only place I will mention it for now, because what remains in this message belongs entirely to the sealing of your spirit. I want you to stop whatever you are doing and place your hand directly over your heart. Take a deep breath and let the air fill your lungs completely. Notice how your breathing is already becoming steadier and much calmer, because that calm is not something you manufactured on your own. It is the direct physical evidence that the heavy frequencies of the enemy are being forcefully pushed out of your room right now. Heaven has issued a divine relocation order for your destiny, and the angels are simply waiting for your final authorization. The atmosphere around you is shifting because your frequency is finally rising to meet your true calling. This is not just a random video you are watching today. This is a sacred covenant moment, and your physical response is your signature on the spiritual documents of heaven. You must physically release the survival identity you have been wearing before you can put on the mantle of true authority. I need you to go to the comments right now and type the exact words "I release what was never mine to carry." When you type those words, you are legally dissolving every hidden agreement you made with the darkness when you were too exhausted to fight back. You are telling the universe that you will no longer be an emotional sponge for toxic people. Now speak this prophetic declaration out loud with me into the atmosphere of your room. Say, "Father, I thank you that the season of my profound isolation was actually the season of my divine insulation. I thank you that the mental fog and the heavy exhaustion were not signs of my failure, but the physical weight of my spiritual preparation. I declare that my mind is being fully restored to its original heavenly blueprint right now. The enemy can no longer use my beautiful empathy as a weapon against my destiny, because my spiritual boundaries are now completely sealed by the Holy Spirit. I am a demonstrated warrior of light, and I am taking my power back today. I declare that the counterfeit connections sent to drain my vital energy are permanently severed from my bloodline. I am stepping into a season of unprecedented mental clarity and supernatural acceleration. The divine provision that God has already placed near me will become totally visible because my internal receiver is now fully online. If you stand in absolute agreement with this powerful decree, type the number 777 in the comments to activate this truth into your physical reality. That specific sequence is the mark of complete divine perfection and ultimate spiritual victory. By typing it, you are broadcasting your readiness to the entire unseen realm. You may also leave a quiet Amen in the comments as an act of absolute agreement and not obligation. Do so only as an extension of your divine alignment and never out of pressure. You have successfully passed the rigorous test of spiritual discernment today because you refused to let the enemy rush you out of this sacred room. The snare that was waiting for you tomorrow has already been completely dismantled in the spiritual realm while you were sitting here in the quiet. You are giving heaven full permission to complete the massive shift in your mind and your spirit. The isolation has done its perfect work, and you are finally ready for the next level. Before you step back into the noise of the outside world, take a moment to like this video as a physical act of faith. Do not do it for this channel, but do it so this exact message can reach another chosen one who is struggling in the dark. There is someone out there who is sitting in their own profound isolation right now, believing they have been completely abandoned. Your interaction is the exact signal the universe will use to deliver this lifeline directly to their screen. Subscribe to this channel right now and turn on all notifications because heaven is not finished speaking to you. You cannot afford to miss the prophetic instructions that are coming in the next phase of your journey. Now we come to the last door of this incubation room. We have spent this time together dismantling the lies of the enemy and rebuilding your inner architecture. You understand now why you were isolated and why your mind felt so incredibly heavy. But understanding the battlefield is only the first part of the ultimate victory. You must now choose exactly how you will walk out of this divine insulation and step back into the world. You can return carrying the exact same heavy receiver you walked in with, or you can choose to walk through the door of complete neurological restoration. That specific door I named earlier has not moved. Everything that was waiting behind it in the form of the genius switch is exactly what it was when I first described it to you. It requires $39 to walk through that door and access the complete clinical protocol. It comes with a guarantee that costs you absolutely nothing to try and ensures your complete peace of mind. There are 4 specific divine tools waiting for you on the other side to help you permanently maintain your synchronized state. It is a very small requirement to cross the threshold into a reality where your mind is finally free from the heavy fog of the enemy. The path leading to that door is located in the description below and in the comment pinned to this video. Both of those locations point directly to the exact same threshold. Neither one will move if you come back to look for it tomorrow, but the version of you that feels this profound clarity right now is the version that needs to make the decision. The opportunity to restore your designed capacity is quietly waiting for your physical agreement. That is the absolute last time I will speak of it, because the rest of our time belongs entirely to your final blessing. Before you close this message, I want you to remember the feeling of this exact moment. When you wake up tomorrow morning, the world will try to hand you back the heavy burdens you just released. The noise will attempt to rush back in and demand your immediate attention. Do not let the sudden urgency of other people dictate your divine frequency. You have the absolute authority to say no to anything that disrupts the sacred peace you have established in this room today. Your energy is a precious resource, and heaven requires you to guard it with massive intention. Take one final deep breath and let the absolute stillness of this room settle deeply into your bones. The heavy spiritual warfare that followed you into this space has been completely neutralized. The counterfeit connection that was waiting to drain your energy tomorrow has lost all of its legal right to access your spirit. You are walking out of this isolation with a mind that is sharp and a spirit that is completely untouchable. The enemy wanted you to feel like a forgotten victim, but you are leaving this encounter as a fully activated warrior of light. I speak a permanent seal of divine protection over your mind and your household today. May the peace of the highest heaven guard your thoughts as you sleep tonight. May your intuition be so incredibly sharp that you recognize every single blessing God has arranged for you in the coming days. You are profoundly loved, and you are fiercely protected by the angels assigned to your destiny. Rest now, chosen one, because the wilderness season is officially over, and your time of massive elevation has finally begun.